Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new, please consider subscribing. My name is Yadi and I create educational videos for beauty professionals in training and for those who like to continue learning. Follow me on all social media platforms as Glam and Beyond. You guys, this video is perfect for any cosmetology student and barber student currently studying for their state exam. We are going to be reviewing information over hair and scalp. If you find the information helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and with that being said, let's get started. Let's go over the main structures of the hair root, which will be the hair follicle, hair bulb, derma papilla, the erector pili muscle, and sebaceous glands. Now, the hair follicle, think of this as a tube or pocket in the skin that holds the hair in place. It surrounds the hair root and keeps it anchored in your scalp. The hair bulb, this is the very bottom of the hair, shaped like a bulb. It contains living cells that are constantly dividing to create new hair growth. The derma papilla, this sits right underneath the hair bulb. It's like the feeding center of the hair because it contains blood vessels that delivers nutrients needed for the hair to grow. The erector pili muscle, this is a tiny muscle attached to the follicle. When it contracts, like when you're cold or scared, it pulls the hair up. That's what causes goosebumps. The sebaceous glands, these glands are attached to the follicle and produce sebum, which is oil. This oil helps keep both the hair and scalp moisturized and protected. So think of it this way. The follicle holds it, bulb builds it, the papilla feeds it, muscle lifts it, and oil smooths it. So, what is hair made of? Hair is mostly made of a protein called keratin. This is what gives hair its strength and structure. At the very base of the hair, in the hair bulb, there are living cells that are constantly dividing and creating new hair. As these cells move upwards, they go through a process called keratinization. Keratinization is how hair forms. Think of it as the life cycle of hair cell. Number 1, new cells are created in the hair bulb. Number 2, these cells fill up with keratin, making them stronger. 3, as they move upward, they lose their nucleus and die. By the time the hair comes out of the scalp, it is completely dead and fully keratinized. What makes up hair? Hair is about 90% protein, keratin. The other 10% is made up of water, lipids, trace minerals. Hair is built from amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. Main elements in hair. Hair is made up of 5 key elements. They are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Hair grows alive, but you see it dead, meaning living cells create it, but the hair you see is no longer living. Cortex and hair bonds. The cortex is the middle layer of the hair, and it's what gives the hair its strength, elasticity, and shape. Inside the cortex are millions of protein chains called polypeptide chains. Think of them like long strands of a ladder. These chains are connected by side bonds, which act like the rungs of the ladder, holding everything together. How hair is built. Hair starts with amino acids, again, the building blocks of protein. Amino acids connect with peptide bonds and bonds. This forms long chains called polypeptide chains. These chains twist into a spiral shape called a helix. Let's go over the 3 types of side bonds. These bonds are super important. They make up about 1/3 of the hair strength. Number 1, hydrogen bonds. These are weak and temporary, formed by attraction between opposite charges, easily broken by water or heat, so like blow drying or curling. They reform when hair dries or cools. This is why wet setting or heat styling works. Letting curls cool helps them last longer. Number 2, salt bonds, also weak and temporary, also formed by opposite charges, broken by changes in pH, strong acidic or alkaline products, easily disrupted but also reform. Number 3, disulfide bonds, strong chemical, the strongest bonds in the hair. Link sulfur atoms between amino acids, fewer in number but very powerful. These bonds are what chemical services change. For example, perms and relaxers break and reform disulfide bonds. Thioperms or relaxers break and then reform the bonds. Hydroxide relaxers break bonds permanently and turn them into lanthionine bonds, which cannot be reversed. If misused, these chemicals can damage the hair and weaken it. So, to help you remember, think hydrogen, heat, and water. Salt, think pH. Disulfide, think chemical change. Scalp and hair analysis, and why is it important? Performing a thorough scalp and hair analysis is one of the most important steps before any service, but you knew that already. It helps you choose the right treatment or service, protect the hair's health and integrity, avoid spreading contagious conditions. When not to perform a service, you should not perform a service if you see the following: cuts or abrasions, contagious conditions like tinea, which is a fungal infection, pediculosis capitis, which is head lice. What you analyze when analyzing the hair, you're looking at texture, density, porosity, elasticity, growth patterns, dryness or oiliness of the hair and scalp. Let's talk about hair texture. Texture is the thickness or diameter of one single strand of hair. There are 3 types: fine hair, medium hair, and coarse hair. Fine hair has the smallest diameter. Think like thin as a thread, more fragile, processes faster with chemicals, needs lower heat, and can look flat. Medium hair, on the other hand, is the most common texture, normal or standard hair type, usually easy to work with, doesn't create many challenges during styling. Coarse hair has a larger diameter, stronger and more resistant, may need more time or stronger products to process. Let's go over hair density. Do not confuse density with texture. Texture, like we mentioned earlier, is thickness of one strand. Density is how many strands you have on the scalp. Hair density measures how many individual hairs grow in 1 square inch of the scalp. It is also called low density, meaning thin, medium density, and high density. How to check hair density? You look at how much scalp you can see. Low density, you can clearly see the scalp. Medium density, you can see some scalp. High density, you can barely to not see the scalp. Density versus texture, these are not the same. Someone can have fine hair but very high density, or coarse hair but low density. So you always analyze both separately. Hair texture quick reminder. To test texture, use a single strand. Fine would be hard to feel or barely visible, like a thread. Medium, easy to feel, and it feels like normal thickness. Coarse hair is very noticeable and thick. Extra characteristics of coarse hair. Coarse hair has the largest strand diameter, can be more resistant to chemical services, may need stronger products or longer processing time, often requires higher heat for styling, can feel dry or frizzy compared to finer hair. So, density is basically how many. Texture would be how thick. Hair porosity. Porosity is the hair's ability to absorb and hold moisture and products. It depends on the condition of the cuticle layer, the outer scales of the hair. How porosity works. If the cuticle is flat and tight, moisture has a harder time getting in. If the cuticle is raised or open, moisture absorbs more easily. Types of porosity. Low porosity means resistant hair. Cuticle is tight, flat, and compact. Hair resists moisture and products. Chemical surfaces need more alkaline solutions to gently lift the cuticle. Think hard to get moisture in. Average porosity would be like normal healthy hair. Slightly raised cuticle in some areas, still healthy overall. Absorbs moisture and processes chemicals normally. This is the ideal hair condition. High porosity, let's think damaged hair. Cuticle is highly raised or damaged, often caused by overprocessing or damage. Hair absorbs moisture quickly but also loses it quickly. Feels dry, brittle, and fragile. Chemical surfaces need lower pH, less alkaline, to prevent further damage. An important reminder, porosity can vary from person to person and even on different areas of the same head. Think low, locked, average, balance, high, wide open. Hair elasticity. Elasticity is the hair's ability to stretch and return back to its original shape without breaking. It shows the strength of the side bonds in the cortex, which helps hold the hair together. How elasticity works. Healthy hair stretches and then snaps back into place. Damaged hair stretches and then breaks or stays stretched. Normal elasticity, healthy hair. Wet hair can stretch about 30 to 50% of its length. Then it returns to normal without breaking. Dry hair can stretch about 20%. This is a sign of strong, healthy hair. Low elasticity, damaged hair. Hair with low elasticity may feel weak, brittle, or rough, break easily when stretched, not hold curls well. It could be caused by overprocessing or heat damage. This hair is fragile and needs gentle chemical formulas, lower pH to avoid more damage. So, how to test elasticity? Always test on wet hair from 4 areas: front hairline, temple, crown, and nape. Here's a step-by-step test. Number 1, take a wet strand of hair. 2, hold it between your thumb and index finger. 3, gently stretch the hair. The results: stretches and returns. That means normal elasticity, healthy hair. Breaks easily or doesn't return. That means it has low elasticity and possible damage. Hair growth patterns. Hair growth patterns are important because they affect how you cut, style, and part the hair. During a hair analysis, you always look at how the hair naturally grows so you can work with it and not against it. How hair grows from the scalp. Hair grows out of the scalp in different directions. This creates natural patterns such as number 1, hair stream. Hair flows in the same direction, caused by follicles growing in the same angle. A natural part forms when two streams flow in opposite directions. Think hair flowing like water in one direction. Number two, a whorl. Hair grows in a circular pattern. Happens when follicles grow at an angle. Can be one or more whorls, often at the crown. Think spiral or swirl pattern. And number three, a cowlick. Hair grows straight up or in a different direction than surrounding hair. Most common at the crown, but can appear anywhere. Can make styling more difficult because it resists laying flat. Think hair that won't lay down. Oily hair and scalp. Oily hair and scalp happen when the sebaceous glands produce too much oil, sebum. What causes it? Well, overactive oil glands. The scalp produces more oil than needed. What oily hair looks like? Hair looks greasy or a little bit heavy. Scalp may appear shiny. Hair can feel dirty soon after washing. How to care for oily hair and scalp? Use a shampoo that helps restore the scalp's natural pH balance. Avoid harsh shampoos that can actually trigger more oil production. Always rinse thoroughly to remove all product buildup. Overwashing with harsh products can make the scalp think it needs to produce even more oil, making the problem worse. Hair growth. There are three main types of body hair: lanugo, vellus hair, and terminal hair. Lanugo is very fine, soft hair, covers a fetus in the womb, usually sheds shortly after birth. Number two, vellus hair. Short, fine, and lightly colored, think peach fuzz, found on most of the body, usually less than 1/3 of an inch long. Not found on the palms, soles, or lips. Follicles do not have sebaceous glands, helps with temperature regulation and sweat evaporation. Number three, terminal hair. Thick, long, and pigmented hair, found on the scalp and body like eyebrows, legs, etc. Coarser than vellus hair, can contain a medulla. Gray hair is an exception because it's not pigmented, it doesn't have any color. Important, all hair follicles can produce either vellus or terminal hair depending on genetics, age, and hormones. Let's talk about hair growth cycle. Hair grows in a repeating cycle that lasts about 2 to 6 years. There are three phases. Phase 1 is the anagen phase, the growing phase. This is where the hair is actively growing. New hair cells are produced in the follicle. It is the fastest cell production in the body. About 90% of all hair is in this phase at one time. Hair grows about half an inch, 1.25 centimeters per month, can last 2 to 6 years, sometimes up to 10 years. Anagen, think active growth. Second phase is the catagen phase. We call this the transition phase. This is a short transition phase between growth and rest. Hair growth starts to slow down and stop. The hair follicle shrinks. It detaches from the derma papilla, the blood supply. The hair bulb disappears. The bottom of the hair becomes a rounded club shape. The hair is shutting down. Less than 1% of hair is in this phase at any time. Lasts about 1 to 2 weeks. The third phase is the telogen phase. We call it the resting phase. This is the final phase of the hair cycle. The hair is completely at rest. It may stay in place or eventually shed naturally. New hair begins forming underneath and pushes the old hair out. Facts about telogen phase. Normal shedding is 50 to 100 hairs per day. Less than 10% of hair is in this phase at one time. And again, it can last about 3 to 6 months. Rest, shed, and restart. Think, act, ACT, anagen growing, catagen changing, and telogen resting. And that's it. Anyways, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope you found all of this information helpful. If you did, give this video some love, share it with a friend. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your continued support. Follow me on all social media platforms as Glam and Beyond. Feel free to scan the QR code to stay connected with me. And if you're interested in shopping additional study guides, PDFs, just again go to the link in my bio or scan the QR code and it'll take you where you need to go. You guys, as always, let's keep going. Let's keep growing. Good luck on your test, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.